Is this thing working? Oh. Hello to all my sports card collector, investor, all the collectibles friends out there. How's everybody doing? Guys, I grabbed my coffee. I'm ready to start my day. Actually, let's not kid ourselves. I'm still waking up. I'm still trying to figure out where the heck I am. Have you ever seen the Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey, Saturday Night Live? If you haven't, and for people that are probably under 30, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but go just YouTube it, Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey. It was just a funny sketch that Saturday Night Live did, and I feel like sometimes that's where a lot of my video topics come from. I'm just sitting there like thinking about something, and I'm like, let's make a video on that. Anyway, guys, we're going to talk about how and why nobody really can see or understand what the future holds when it comes to collectibles, traditional investments, all sorts of alternative investments, etc. I think this is kind of a fun topic and just a good reminder when we're talking about pricing for all of these sorts of things. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you like what you hear, the like button, and a little tappity tap on that notification bell so that you're notified every time a new video comes out, which is almost every day, frankly. We don't mess around here. We're going to keep it coming. Collectibles and sports card content with a little bit of a finance twist attached to it. Couple of housekeeping notes. Brad, the comeback card investor, is working overtime as an elf at the mall, helping Santa organize all the presents, etc. Anyway, we're having to shift around off-centered. We're moving things around. The New Orleans Saints, my New Orleans Saints, play tonight at 8:30, Thursday night football. And so we're doing off-centered 7:30 Eastern to 8:30 Eastern. And then I've got to get to watching the game. I'm working on a few upcoming live streams. I do have Dakota Sports Card. I can't talk, guys. Sports Cards Anonymous is going to be on my show here over the next couple weeks. We're working on it. I think it's going to be next week. I've also been in touch with Jeff Wilson. Might have heard of him, sports card investor, trying to work something out. He's got this little thing, the virtual, that he's working on. Anyway, can't make time. No, but I'm excited to hopefully have him on my show over the next few weeks leading up to the end of the year. And then I also heard from Chris, baseball card collector, investor, dealer, one of my hobby content friends. You might have heard of his channel too. He's got a pretty big channel, but he reached out to me and he's like, hey man, what do you think about this Raleigh show? Are you going to go to it on December 10th weekend? I'm like, dude, of course I am. Of course I'm going to that show, and you have a place to stay if you need it. And so please put pressure on him on his channel, Baseball Card Collector Investor Dealer, if you haven't checked it out already, but there's a lot of crossover between our channels. Let him know, hey, go to Raleigh, hang out with Dustin, and maybe we can make some cool content out of it. Anyway, let him know my thoughts on that. As we peruse the internet, especially the YouTube landscape, and you could, podcasts and all sorts of different things, blog articles, there are so many experts in the field of finance, or personal finance or whatever it is. I hope that watching this channel, you understand that I do not consider myself an expert in personal finance, but more of just documenting my journey, whether it be sports cards, collectibles, the traditional stuff. We talk about all of that stuff here. But you see a lot of conviction in how people speak about all of these things moving forward. This is going to look like this down the road, and this is, going to be in good shape down the road. And the reality is we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody has any sort of a clue. I've been excited to see the growth in just the more of an acceptance of alternative investments, just as, something in addition to traditional investments. Traditional investments are great. I'm involved in stocks, bonds, and real estate, and that's all good. But I don't think that that's the only thing out there. I think it's good for people to be open-minded to other things. And all these different markets are fun to learn. They're evolving all the time. And some of them are in their infancy and still have a long way to go. But it's still interesting to get involved in it and kind of see where it goes. Everybody has a little piece of them inside. And maybe not everybody, but if you're investing in anything, whatever that thing is, there's something that is fun about being first. because you're in on the ground floor. I think that you see that with, we talk about sports cards on the channel. People that have been in this for decades, they're just sitting pretty like, man, my collection has grown dramatically. Assuming you don't have just a bunch of, Mark McGwire rookie cards, Greg Jeffries is talked about a lot. Who is it? Todd Van Poppels. We've all got some of that stuff. But if you also latched on to some of the other more important, maybe more scarce stuff, then you are looking at this like, yeah, I was here prior to 2019 and I am doing great. The same thing goes for, NFTs or cryptocurrencies or whatever the case may be. Even, stocks, going back, there's people that are like, Warren Buffett's like, I bought Coca-Cola at $3.50 in 1989. I was there before most of you all. And so I think that there's an innate thing for people to, want to be first into something, or just be able to say, hey, I got in early on this, and forget about the money part. I think that that's also just a fun thing that people can share. It's a story, hey, I got in on this early. I got in on Amazon when it was $1. I got Bitcoin when it was $10 or whatever it is. So I think that, from an investment standpoint, people are always kind of looking for those sorts of stories. And I think that's what drives people. Of course, that means you're going to speculate and miss on a lot of things too. It drives me crazy when I hear sports cards being compared to, Beanie Babies or Pogs or something, because they're just so different in those markets. There's so much difference between the demand of these items. And when I hear that, well, this is the way it's going to go because this is the way it was in the past, it's a little bit cringe. Not to say that we can't learn from history. Of course we can learn from history in a lot of different ways. It's why you see the equities disclosures of, there's no guarantee of future gains based on historical performance. There's a reason for those disclosures because, even though equity's been around for 100 plus years and, it's considered to be a safe long-term thing, we just don't know. We don't know what that's going to look like. It could be, a lot of people are, speak down on cryptocurrencies, and I understand why. Look, it's very, very new. It's very new, but we don't know what's going to happen in 30 years. That could be what everyone operates in. Everyone operates in these different tokens, or maybe there's one master token or whatever it is. This isn't just a pipe dream to think that it's possible. And you might say, well, the big financial institutions are going to push back against this. Well, what if they accept it and bring it on themselves? Powerful people will find a way to stop it. What if they embrace it? What happens if the powerful people embrace it? And we've kind of already seen a little bit of that. You're starting to see the Morgan Stanleys and the big banks, et cetera, that are now trading in cryptocurrencies and other things, and they're adopting it. It's not to say that it's going to replace the U.S. dollar, but to think that it's just going to fall by the wayside like Pogs and Beanie Babies or something or whatever. And cryptocurrency is different than collectibles, but it's the same in the sense that it's something new. It's a fresh idea. It's, not something that's proven at all. And there's so many question marks around it. For me personally, I like to, play devil's advocate, look at various sides of the story. If you watch my channel, you kind of understand this. Some people will say like, oh, you need to pick a lane and run with it. But to be honest with you, I don't feel like I'm really learning that way if I'm just always I'm convicted on this particular thing. Then how do you learn anything new? It just feels like, okay, you're set in your ways. Well, great. If I'm just set in my ways, then I'm not able to really kind of learn new ideas. What are the other angles to this? And whether you're talking about, the news, whether it's politics, whether it's finance, whatever that is, it's really, really good to get various opinions, not just the opinions that hit on your confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when, you've seen something happen in the past. Your brain kind of tricks you, to where it's like, I've seen something that's similar to this, so this must be that thing. People do it in relationships. Oh, I met this girl, I met this guy. He or she acts a certain way, so that's exactly how that person was. That's not really the case. Everyone's different. Some situations can be similar. In many cases, there's shades of gray to it. There's little nuance that's going to be different each time. So I think that from a big picture standpoint, we can certainly learn from situations, but we also have to understand that there is nuance to all this stuff in all aspects of life. This is why it's so important to gain access to all different types of opinions. Even if you don't agree at all and you just cringe at it, trying to understand how does that person come to that conclusion? What's driving that? And honestly, you might actually dig in deep and be like, Oh, okay. I can see where they're coming from on that particular topic. It makes sense to me. I don't agree necessarily based on these factors, this research, whatever, but I can understand why they're passionate about their side of the story, why they're passionate about their side of the argument. And so once we kind of understand that, it also, I think it just breeds more happiness. Tell me your thoughts on this subject, guys. Are you getting various points, viewpoints? Because I think this is really an important thing. And in sports cards, maybe you're watching 10 different channels. You're watching 20 different channels. Maybe you watch 3. You've kind of narrowed it down or whatever it is. After this video, this is your last time watching my channel. And that's okay too. My stuff might not be your cup of tea, and that's perfectly okay. Let me know your thoughts on this topic in the comments, guys. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.